Today, I am rocking a Shawn Kemp jersey because 1, RIP Sonics, and 2, I'm honoring a man who was an NBA draft steal. In his career, Shawn Kemp was a 6-time All-Star, but in the 1989 draft, he was taken with the 17th pick. And a little spoiler alert right now, he was in fact drafted after one of the guys on this list. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 4 former college basketball superstars and asking ourselves what went wrong. Now, every single player on this list was either a first-team All-American or college basketball national player of the year, and they all did not make the All-Star team. So I think you guys are gonna enjoy this one. If you don't already know, my name is Mike, and before we jump into this, I just gotta say that we've got something new going on this channel. Every single video from now on, after the video is over, I'm going to be answering one question from you guys on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. So if you don't already, go follow me on those 3 apps and start asking me questions, because if you don't, this will turn out to be a horrible failure. Let's get into the video. Number 4, Jimmer Fredette. For as long as anyone can remember, people have said Kobe after they shoot a basketball. This has been a staple of park basketball across the country, but what many people have already forgotten is that for one brief moment in time, many people replaced the word Kobe with the word Jimmer. That's how good Jimmer Fredette was in the 2011 college basketball season, as in 1 year he went from a completely unknown to a legitimate basketball celebrity. In 2011, Fredette led the BYU Cougars to a memorable 32-5 record and an appearance in the Sweet 16 while the world was plagued by Jimmer mania. Game in and game out, Jimmer shocked us by connecting on 30-foot bombs on the way to leading the NCAA in points per game with 28.9 points a night. And by the time the NBA draft rolled around, Jimmer mania seemed like it was just getting started. Now, in the past, scouts were usually wary of drafting someone like Jimmer because he was a 4-year player who racked up high scoring numbers while playing in a smaller conference. But by 2011, things had changed, and that was due largely to the success of Steph Curry. Because in 2009, Steph had a season that was very similar to that of Fredette's, and Steph was passed on by many teams due to the appearance that he was not physically gifted enough to play in the league. These same scouts now saw a lot of Steph in Jimmer Fredette and were afraid to make these same mistakes. And so Jimmer was taken with the 10th overall pick in the draft, but unfortunately for Jimmer, he was not Steph Curry. The main reason Steph had instant success in the league was that scouts were just wrong about him. Yeah, he wasn't strong, but he was athletically gifted. He had the quickness and shiftiness to get his shot up at the highest level. As for Jimmer, well, again, he was no Steph Curry. Almost from the second he took the court, it became clear that he did not have the speed or quickness to get his shot off against NBA level defenders. What's more, while Steph was an incredibly gifted ball handler who also had great court vision, Jimmer was more of a true shooting guard who struggled to put the ball on the floor or to make plays for his teammates. In his rookie season, despite giving every advantage a lottery pick is usually given, Jimmer was beaten out for the starting point guard role by the 60th pick in the draft, a man by the name of Isaiah Thomas. In just his 3rd season after drafting him, the Kings would cut ties with Jimmer. And after more chances with the Bulls, Pelicans, and Knicks, Jimmer has still never proven that he's an NBA type player. But Jimmer fans, as you probably already know, while in the NBA he disappointed, Jimmer has become a Chinese basketball legend. This season, the man was the Chinese League MVP. He dropped 73 points in 1 game. And I think it's safe to say that across basketball courts everywhere in China, when someone takes a shot, they say, Jimmer. Number 3, Danny Ferry. Here we have a Duke player who was National Player of the Year and taken with a top 3 pick in the NBA draft, then failed to ever make an NBA All-Star game. And no, I'm not talking about Christian Laettner, because while Laettner did not exactly live up to his enormous hype, he did end up having a pretty good NBA career and even made the 1997 All-Star game. No, instead, the biggest bust to come out of Duke was Danny Ferry. Quick note, I just want to say that even though they were college stars and drafted very highly, I don't think Duke players such as Jay Williams or Bobby Hurley were busts. It wasn't really their fault they had short NBA careers, they were just injured, just like other college stars such as Greg Oden. To me, a real NBA bust is someone who is healthy pretty much throughout their career and is still just a terrible NBA basketball player. So anyway, in his time in college, superstar Danny Ferry led Duke to the Final Four 3 times, was named college basketball's Player of the Year, and he still holds the record for points in a game as a Blue Devil with a scoring explosion of 58 points against Miami in his senior year. And so after his incredible year at Duke, Ferry entered the 1989 draft with tremendous hype. He was seen as the type of player you could build a franchise around, and so the Clippers selected him with the second pick ahead of Glenn Rice, Tim Hardaway, and Shawn Kemp, three players who would go on to make all NBA teams in their basketball careers. As for Danny, well, he simply came into the NBA at the wrong time, as the 70s and 80s saw several players with Danny Ferry's exact skill set thrive at an all-star level despite not being athletically gifted. Unfortunately, the 90s now found teams trotting out athletic beasts such as Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shawn Kemp, Dennis Rodman, and Dikembe Mutombo. Soon, it became clear that his lack of athleticism would keep Danny Ferry from ever starring in the NBA like he had as a Duke Blue Devil. Ferry would go on to just start 11 games in his first 5 seasons, and even though he did carve out a long NBA career, that career was certainly a huge disappointment for the man who was once College National Player of the Year and now can count the amount of All-Star games he made on one hand, even if it was Chubbs doing the count. Happy Gilmore reference? Yeah, I went there. Number 2, Tyler Hansbrough. For 4 solid seasons, Tyler Hansbrough dominated college basketball. As a freshman, he joined a North Carolina program that was expected to have a down year after losing their entire team and willed the Tar Heels to a 23-8 season while finishing as the National Freshman of the Year. From there, he carved out a reputation as an absolute psychopath on the court, a man who played the game going full speed at all times and who also wasn't afraid to get physical. The legend of Psycho T would continue to grow and grow in Chapel Hill as Hansbrough racked up award after award in his 4 college basketball seasons. He would finish his career at UNC with an ACC record 2,872 points, and his final game as a collegiate athlete found him cutting down the nets after winning the 2009 NCAA championship. And so, after watching him for 4 years in college, scouts knew what they had in Tyler Hansbrough. He was a great college player, yes, but it was clear that at just 6'8" with below average athleticism and no real jump shot, Tyler Hansbrough was going to be just that, a great college player. Still, the Pacers made him a lottery pick, and in his 7 years in the league, he would go on to score just 2,881 points in 428 career games. Or in other words, Tyler Hansbrough scored just 9 more career points in the NBA than he did in 142 games in college. So with that said, I know some of you might not think Tyler Hansbrough belongs on this list. Even though this isn't a biggest bust list, it's just college stars who did not perform in the NBA. But anyway, even if you still don't think he belongs on this list, think about this. The Pacers drafted Tyler Hansbrough ahead of Drew Holiday and Jeff Teague, even though they needed a point guard. So in 2011, when they had the 15th pick, they still needed a point guard. So they traded Kawhi Leonard for George Hill. Now, nothing against George Hill, but the 2013 Pacers could have started Holiday, Paul George, Kawhi, David West, and Roy Hibbert. This was a team that lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in Game 7 to the Heat, a Heat team that would win the championship. How's that for a what if? And number 1, Adam Morrison. The 2006 college basketball season was dominated by one major storyline: the battle for National Player of the Year between JJ Redick and Adam Morrison. Playing at Duke and Gonzaga respectively, the 2 college stars put up unreal numbers, with JJ ultimately winning the National Player of the Year after averaging 27 points per game for a Duke team that was ranked number 1 almost the entire season. This was no knock on Morrison though, as in most seasons he would have won the National Player of the Year. For Gonzaga, Adam averaged 28.1 points and 5.5 rebounds a game while leading the Zags to a Sweet 16 appearance. The year saw him with several breathtaking moments, such as the time he scored 37 points in 1/2 against Loyola Marymount. And as the year went on, Morrison began to generate more and more NBA buzz. Once seen as a low to mid first round pick, Adam suddenly found himself tabbed as a top 5 pick in most mock drafts, and some even had him going number 1. Chad Ford reported that many NBA executives thought Morrison had star power, and some websites went as far as comparing him to Larry Bird. This ultimately led to the Charlotte Bobcats drafting Morrison with the 3rd overall pick. And with that selection came even more hype. Adam was expected to carry this new expansion franchise, and by any measure, he failed. His first season was seen as a disappointment, as a 22-year-old rookie, Adam averaged only 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists a game with a 7.9 PER while playing almost 30 minutes a night. The flaws that many scouts had ignored, such as his below average athleticism and lack of quickness on the defensive end, clearly began began to show. And after this subpar rookie season, things only got worse, as in the 2007 preseason, Morrison would tear his ACL, an injury that forced him to miss the entire year with injury. This injury robbed him of what little athleticism he had to compete at the highest level, and in the 2009 season, the Bobcats cut their losses and traded him to the Lakers, where he would play in just 39 games for the back-to-back champions before leaving the NBA at the young age of 25. It was after one of these seasons, when the championship Lakers were on Jimmy Kimmel, that we were given yet another insight as to why Morrison failed in the NBA. Just watch this clip and try not to cringe, I dare you.
Where are you guys going? Anybody want to mention anything in particular?
Adam, where you going, Adam? He's the quiet one. You gotta make him talk.
Adam is so baked right now.
Where you going? Where you going, dog?
Stay here.
Stay here.
Yeah.
Stay here, man. All right. That's all you gonna get.
So yeah, after watching that, it's pretty clear that Adam Morrison was a very quiet guy, which in fact I think is the real reason he had such a bad NBA career. When he was on Gonzaga, he thrived because he wasn't under tremendous pressure. Then once he was drafted third, once he was given all this hype, he just couldn't handle it. And I gotta say, out of all of these guys on this list, I feel for Adam Morrison the most. He's definitely been given the most crap about being a bust. At least now it does seem he's found peace in his life. He has a happy family. He did make millions of dollars playing basketball. So while his basketball story didn't have a happy ending, at least it seems like his life is headed in that direction. And so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you don't think I went too tough on these guys. I know they get a lot of crap as it is. I thought this was just a fun video to look at, and it was really fun for me to make. So if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, especially if you're a fan of the game of basketball. And I think it's safe to say that if you're still watching at this point, you are. I look at NBA history like this. I do NBA what ifs. I look at NBA conspiracies. Basically, if it's cool, if it has to do with basketball, I'll make a video on it. So like I said, guys, yes, I'm going to be answering at least one question every video, if not more. Depends how long the answers take. The links to all my stuff will be in the description or in the comments, or probably on the screen. And even if I don't answer you in a video, there's a good chance I'll just answer you through that social media. So I want a mix of questions here. I want serious basketball questions. I want just absolutely ridiculous stuff. And you can ask me some life stuff too. Because on the second channel, I feel like I get to talk to you guys a lot, and that doesn't really happen here. So that's what I'm trying to do. So first question is from Twitter. Thank you for tweeting at me, JD. Did you ever have a basketball career? Now guys, I was actually thinking about making a video on this, about why I quit basketball. So if you're interested in that, tweet me or comment down below. But short story, yes, I played basketball all my life. Growing up, was definitely one of the best players in my town. Started in 7th, 8th, freshman year, then rode the bench as a sophomore on JV, then rode the bench as a junior on JV. Then I decided to quit the team because I just didn't think it was worth it. But I gotta say, I do regret that. I wish I played out my senior year. My career did continue in college though. Started as a point guard on my fraternity team. Big deal, I know, but it was a lot of fun. We ended up winning Greek Week and basketball every single year I participated in it, and I definitely want to make more basketball videos for you guys. Thanks for watching. Cue the music.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am